I had no idea what instructional design was
Until I did.
I was looking for a good video to show me the step-by-step guide to how to get this job. Now, that's why I'm doing it, just for you.
Hello, Sahelpedia fam. Welcome to my video. I am a former teacher transitioned into instructional designer role. Today I'm going to give you step-by-step guide to transition from whatever you are now, teacher, or whatever you are, to instructional design. And before we start, as an Iranian, I want to appreciate all of the women and men who are fighting in Iran for freedom, for women, life, and freedom. Zan, Zendegi, Azadi. People there are fighting with their lives for freedom, a very basic need of any human being. And they're being the bravest people you can imagine, despite the fact that the regime is killing them left and right, but they're still being brave. So I just want to appreciate them. We're all together in this, and I know that at the end of the tunnel, there is light. We are going to win this battle. And let me just tell you that if you hear any beautiful screams in the background of my video, hope not, that's my 4-month-old boy. I have a son, and if he screams very beautifully, I might go and check on him. But he's asleep. Everything's good for now, but just so you know. Okay, let's get into this. So maybe you're a teacher, maybe not. You know about instructional design or not. You don't know the education needed, the qualifications needed, and you don't know what exactly you need to do with your CV to get interviews and stuff. I am going to tell you what to do today, okay? So we're going to talk about it and let's move on. So this is the agenda for today. We have an introduction. First, we're going to see what instructional design is and if it is a right fit for you, if you really know what it is about. And if you do, skip this part, although I have very good information, but you can skip it. Then we're going to talk about education needed for this role, which is very simple, and qualifications. So, what qualifications and skill should you have? And also, how to write a better CV. We're going to talk about that here as well. And at the end, you're going to have some Sahel's advice. And oh, did I mention that my name is Sahel? Yeah, my name is Sahel. Okay. We're going to have some Sahel's advice and we're going to have some conclusions. Let's get into the introduction. Let's imagine that there is a company, a university, hospital, wherever that there are employees working. There is an instructional designer needed. Why? Because there are going to be trainings for new employee or trainings for softwares or whatever. Probably there are going to be facilitators that are going to help with the courses and with the trainings. But nowadays, there is this increasing number of companies, hospitals, universities who are hiring instructional designers to do this training and make a self-paced course. So instead of having a teacher doing the trainings, they are hiring instructional designers to create these very creative, interactive courses for the employees. And as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be in a company. It could be hospital, could be university, school, whatever. So in my mind, anyone who is interested in designing courses and want to be creative in that process belongs here. For me, when I was a teacher, I thought that I loved the whole process, but after some time, I figured that I wanted to do the designing part more often. And I didn't know that instructional design existed. And when I found out, I was super happy and I knew that I had to go for it. So I was a teacher, I had no idea what it was. That is why this video is going to help you because I'm going to give you the step-by-step guide and you might as well like it if you want and subscribe because I'm going to give you all the ins and outs of this role. So let's just go ahead. If you enjoy spending time designing learning content and do research on how to do the job even better, you belong. One of the main elements of instructional design is to be active, proactive actually, and like to do research. So you should not rely on anybody telling you what to do. Actually, you should be the one who finds whatever information needed. I'm going to give you the guide, but do not just rely on me as one person, okay? Do your own research. One of the models that we have in instructional design is ADDIE model. ADDIE model, and we're going to see what it is. So I just want to tell you very quickly what an instructional designer do. So first of all, we do an analysis. We want to see what the situation is and what gaps we have, what instructional gaps we have that we need to fill as a designer. And we want to see, for example, what is this employer want that we need to make a training for? Let's say a company wants to teach their employees, this is very basic, but how to open a LinkedIn account. So that is our analysis. We know that our employees do not know how to open a LinkedIn account. That's our analysis. Now it's time for designing the process. So, based on your analysis, make informed decisions to design the best possible learning experience. Are we going to do a self-paced, or are we going to do it, a PowerPoint so that a facilitator can do that? So we decide on how we are going to design this learning process for them, for the employees. Now we jump into development. Bring your learning experience to life by building your end product. Most of the time, instructional designers do analysis, design, and development, but some do implementation as well, meaning that if it's not a self paced course, they go ahead and teach it or facilitate it for the employees. And then at the end, we need to do evaluation as well. Now, let's see what education we need. First of all, the very basics one need bachelor's degree. And how do I know that? I didn't make it. I looked into few job listings in LinkedIn. Okay, you can do that on LinkedIn or Indeed or Glassdoor. Look into some. Okay, even do not rely just on me. Look into it yourself. Look into some job listings. See how many of them need only bachelor's degree. And even better, some of them say that it's better if you have bachelor's degree in education, adult learning education or whatever kind of education, instructional design, or psychology. Some of them, very few say psychology. This is not a must for most of them, but it's a very good point because most of the people who are applying for these jobs have master's degree. I can say most, but I mean a good amount have master's degree and they take instructional design courses. I didn't. My background was master's degree in applied linguistics, meaning that my background was in teaching language to other people. So I was familiar with adult learning methods and stuff. But there are so many people who aren't and who are not in this background and they still get the job. They know how to put their experience in terms that the hiring manager figures that, okay, they can do this job. And also, they acquire the required skills for this job that we're going to see now. Now, qualifications here, the ones that I wrote here, you could actually put them in your CV. So, again, look into some LinkedIn job listings, okay? Do not think that I am the only person who's telling you, okay? Do your own research. So I looked into, let's say, 10 job listings when I was doing my own research. And I looked into them, wrote the repetitive terms that they were looking for. If I had those abilities, I would put it in my CV. If I didn't, I would acquire them. So if you're a teacher, I'm talking about teachers because mostly teachers go into this role, and because I was a teacher too. If you're a teacher, you have most of this. You just don't know that you have them. Okay. Unfortunately, in the education system, they make us feel like we don't have any skills, but we do have a ton of them. So let's take a look. The very most important software that is being used now widely is Storyline 360. So it's a software that creates these courses, these self-paced courses. You create the course, you take assessments, you make them interactive so that the learner interacts with these courses. You can do a lot with this software. If you don't know it, you probably are not going to even get an interview. So, what should you do? What I did, I had no idea what it was. In 1 month, only 1 month, I learned it from LinkedIn Learning. You can have a free trial with LinkedIn Learning and learn it there. So, learn the whole process. That was my step. I learned the whole thing on LinkedIn Learning. Then I got the free trial of the software because it has 30 days, I believe. Then I created a course with that. If you don't know how to create a course, again, look for it in YouTube or on Google, but I am going to make a video of that as well. However, do not wait for me to do that. Do your own research. But that is at least one course for your portfolio. And let me tell you that if you do not have a portfolio, it's very unlikely to get a good interview, okay? Because they want to see what you're able to do, okay? So, first of all, you need to learn Storyline. That is the software that you use in this job. So, you need to know it. Adobe Captivate is something like Storyline, but it's not as user friendly. I learned it, but a little bit, just so I could say that I know how to work with it, but I was very basic. And I think I forgot about it now because no, we are not using it at my job. So needs analysis, you're doing it. If you are a teacher, every day you are doing a needs analysis to see what your learners, what your students need in order to succeed and how to make your next lesson plan. Adult learning models such as ADDIE, which we talked about, but if you don't know what these are, if you are not from an education background, search for them on Google or YouTube. What is adult learning model? Look for it, okay? Write it down, make notes for yourself, learn. I'm going to talk about it in some other videos as well, but do not just wait for that. SME experience, subject matter expert experience. You have experience with that. Let's say the teacher leader that you have, the assistant principal or principal assistant, that person, or even the principal of your school are your SME. Those are the people who are asking sometimes for some specific content. And so these are the people who give you the content and ask you to make the training. Let's say that a group of nurses are required to learn a new machine. As an instructional designer, you have no idea what that is. But this me, which is your client as well, is going to provide you with the content. So it is very important to have a good connection with them. That's one thing that they're going to ask always in the interviews. Project management. You already have project management skills as a teacher. You have to meet deadlines. You have to, I don't know what to do for the next day, what you're doing this day. So you have that skill. Excellent communication skills. You talk with your students, with other colleagues. So that is a very important skill, especially if you're looking for a good communication skill with the SME because they are your clients. Analytical and problem solving skills because sometimes you have problems at work and you have to have those skills and they are going to ask about it and you already have it as a teacher because every day you are figuring out how to manage these people, how to manage your lesson plans and stuff. You just need to have examples of them in your mind for the interviews. Excellent writing skills. Already have it. If not, learn it. Adult learning theories, again, learn what they are, at least know a few of them that are being used in instructional design. Curriculum design experience. As a teacher, you already have it. You are designing curriculum, courses, lesson plans every day, every year. Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, most of us know. If not, learn them, at least learn basics. LMS experience. So from now on, no, let's just wait. LMS, Learning Management System. Things like Blackboard. You put up your courses on there. For example, Star Learning is another LMS. I have nothing to do with LMS in my job, so but I had some experience when I was doing my master's degree, so I wrote that in my CV. But if you don't have any experience, you can go ahead and check them. You can learn how to work with them on YouTube or LinkedIn Learning, but it's not a must, so do not bother yourself. HTML, SCORM, if even I'm saying that correct, I had no idea what they are. And I didn't put it in my CV. Nobody asked me about it. Maybe some interviews asked me in some interviews, they asked me if I have any experience with that, and I said none, and it wasn't important. I got to other rounds as well. So some of them say it's a must. So if it's a must, then it's a must. Graphic design experience is important. And already you are working with that. Like if you are working on PowerPoint or Canva, which is the best designing space in the world, I guess. So if not, work on that, learn. Some people work with Photoshop or other designing spaces. I didn't work with Photoshop. Camtasia is a video editing app. I put it there and I put video editing. So video edit, I edit videos for my YouTube channels. So I had experience with that. So I put it there and I named a few because I worked with a lot to find the best. And I put something very specific like Kirkpatrick's levels of evaluation. If you don't know what it is, Google, YouTube, find your answer. Never ever leave yourself with a question, okay? If you want to be successful in the minimum amount of time. And let me tell you that all of these take time. First, it took me 1 month to learn how to work with storyline. Then it took me a month to create a course that I liked because I had some errors, error and trial and stuff. And it took me about 2 months to get the job that I wanted. After that, I was applying for jobs when I was creating my portfolio. So, which wasn't the best idea, but I got some experience. So if you want to do that as well, I say go for it because you're not losing anything. You're gaining experience and you're getting better at interviews. Um, but it took me 4 months to get this job. But for teaching, it took me a week. I mean, it's so easy to get into teaching than this job. So just have that mindset from the very beginning. We are going to look for transitioning teacher to instructional design resume. We're going to see what they are. So simple. Whatever question you have, this is how you can find the answer to. So this website, I'm going to put the link below, has some very good information on how to write your CV. So, say more about lesson planning, use active verbs like I designed, I created, I wrote. So, consider including how you wrote your objectives. These are very important things. Talk about collaborative work. Oh my gosh, this is so important. They want to see how collaborative you are with your colleagues and me. So, we have a personal profile, first of all. So, it talks about their own experience, and we have the education, and we have the skills. Look at the skills, it's up there. And the first thing that a hiring manager and or a recruiter is looking for is these skills. They want to see what you can do. Do not write a 4 or 5 page CV because these people have so many applicants that they just spend a few seconds on anybody's. Just have 1 page. Make it creative, your own. So if you want to add colors and stuff, do not add pictures. But if you want to add a little bit of colors or a designing aspect, go for it. It's okay. Add your skills and make it very clear what you can do. And you can actually use the wordings here or on my slide page. Talk about your work experience. As you see, we have bullet points. We do not write paragraphs about what we can do. We actually make it bullet points so that it's easier. Always think about the hiring manager. Make it easier for them to find you. And if there is a term like SME experience, or articulate, or some other terms that you find on LinkedIn job listings, try to repeat them at least a couple times so that they catch eye, okay? Do that. You can find a lot of samples online. Please, please, please look into that. And also, Devlin Peck has very good information and has a showcase that actually, in that he gathered some CVs from different people. You could look into that. I'm not sure if they have their CVs on there, but if not, you can find it on LinkedIn. Again, connect with people so that you can see their CVs. Connect with transitioning teachers to instructional design, the hashtag. Get yourself familiar with the terms that are being used in instructional design and repeat them for yourself as much as you can so that it's like your everyday life. And when you have interviews, that's going to help you a lot because you can talk about them very naturally as if you've been an instructional designer for years, which you have been because you were a teacher. If you are, sorry, I'm saying that a lot. In Google, you can actually look for instructional designer terms, teaching terms to instructional design. See what you need to use instead of those teaching terms. And you should get yourself familiar with instructional design models like these. Addie, Assure. You know what? Bloom's taxonomy, that's what I know. And then you should know stuff about blended learning, asynchronous, synchronous learning, the SME, which we talked about, storyboarding, what it is, micro learning, rapid learning, evaluation, performance gap. Know these words, okay? Objective statement, prototype, QA, quality assurance and testing, navigation, user interface design. All of these terms, like elements that we talked about. So, if you know these and if you say these, if you use these words, it shows that you're able to do what it takes to do this job. Now, it's what you've been waiting for. Solo's advice. Okay, I talked about being active, so you help you. Do your research. Do not rely on anyone to be your angel because you are your own angel. Get help from others, but know that at the end of the day, you need to do your research. So look for information on LinkedIn. If you have a question from somebody, ask them, but do not just rely on somebody to answer all of your questions. Number 2, upgrade your CV. Now go check out a few CVs and upgrade yours. See what kind of term they're using instead of, for example, instead of student, learner. If you don't have the skill, learn it. Do not just put it there. Okay? Learn it. It takes time. Be patient. So at the beginning, tell yourself that in 7 months, in 8 months, in 6 months, I am going to be an instructional designer. But what does it take? I have to actually spend time on it. Do not rush. And the last thing, learn the terms. You have lots of skills. Learn how to change the terms from teaching to instructional design and use those constantly so they become the queen of your mind. Persian idiom I just use. I don't know if they use it in English. I think they do, or something like that. Okay, anyways, tell me in the comments, what are you looking for? What information do you need from me to tell you? Because I've done it all and I love this job and I love telling you how to get it. So thank you so much for joining me today and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!